Thank you for joining me, Dave. I really want to talk to you as a colleague and as a friend, not just as a business associate, about this case that we just experienced on the new PET scan machine. The individual, patient number 77, SYNOPSIS, apparently, his unconscious imagery was like nothing we've ever charted before. It's like, let me explain this to you.
Was there a malfunction in the computer system?
Well, see, that was my theory at first.
This is an experimental...
It was impossible because...
PET scanning machine.
It was impossible because the next individual that we tried, because of course, that was my first reaction, and I felt like there could be a danger to SYD. We tested it again, and it was completely normal.
Did you test it on yourself, doctor?
Yes, I did, but, don't let that get out.
Well, did you come out... what standards by which there was no malfunction or problems with the machines, Dr. Gens?
Whatsoever. That's why I called you here, because, if it was a machine malfunction, it would be as simple. But apparently, let me explain to you that SYD's subconscious imagery was like contradicting itself almost. It's like his subconscious mind, through the imagery, I could tell that it's organically constructed itself into a paradox. SYD's subconscious is a paradox, and it relates, and I've come to this abstract conclusion, but it makes perfect sense. SYD has complained of feelings that other people are aggressive, vicious animals out to get him, and basic, primitive...
But he's really a rather peaceful individual. He's nonviolent.
Right.
He's very passive. Right. Very passive for a paranoid delusion in personality.
That's the point. He's very passive, and he sees other people as the exact opposite. As
like very competitive.
Primitive, competitive animals.
Barbaric, primitive.
Yeah. Exactly. And the point of the matter is, I think that somehow, some strange way, SYD's animalistic subconscious has...
His natural competitive drives for survival?
Right. SYD's animalistic subconscious, his natural competitive drives for survival that are imprinted in all of our brains
as animals,
right, are beginning to cancel themselves out, as I said, by arranging themselves into the tissue is becoming and the neurons an organic paradox. And his imagery displayed this. Some of the archetypes which we often see were
keys of universal concepts
were canceling themselves out. And apparently SYD's animal instincts are being eliminated. And so
is it forming a higher brain function? Is he evolving?
Exactly, that's what I'm getting to. SYD is becoming an organism of purely peaceful, pastoral, pacifist, contemplative thought. SYD is the first human being to exist in complete higher thought.
Without any instincts for competitiveness.
Right.
Or domination over other individuals and suppression of logic.
Right. SYD is
at one with the unity of all mankind?
Well, no, not at all. SYD is beyond mankind. SYD appears to be the first individual who may be displaying what one curious damn psychiatrist thinks is the next stage of human mental evolution. SYD is no longer this. SYD is... as far as the psychiatric logic that we have existing today...
What would you formulate as a diagnosis for your theories?
I'm going to have to diagnose SYD as the first case of what I would call a subconscious psychosis. Now, as I was saying before, maybe it wouldn't be maladaptive if we could all evolve to SYD's level, but like I said, SYD appears to be, by some weird, divine even method, it's out of the range of any kind of psychological study.
Human capability.
Right.
Earthly capability.
Exactly.
Would you say he's become...
SYD is alien to us. SYD is the pioneer of the future stages of human mental evolution.
What's going on, Sid?
I figured out how telepathy works, man.
What do you mean? You can read people's minds?
Not exactly. I can sense when they're hiding them. Or I can sense their motives by correlating natural animal drives with distinctive facial expressions.
Wasn't that just human psychology, Sid?
There's something else.
What do you mean, dude?
Well, energy vibes travel between people who don't even know each other, whether they're waiting together in an office or going to buy something in a grocery store.
I'll buy that, man, but what good does that do us?
A sense of communal purpose that brings us together, like the hippie movement spawned love. If we could utilize this, we could create a utopia.
How, man?
We all have similar fears, goals, struggles for recognition, and instincts for survival. God unifies us with a common purpose, but for those of us who don't believe in God or the devil because we're nonconformists, and we can think for ourselves, where do we go after we die?
Parallel universe?
Maybe, but who's going to take us there?
The aliens.
Right, the aliens, because they're the nonconformists of the galaxy. Because that's where independent thinkers like you and I go, because they've been ostracized by their galaxy too, just like we've been ostracized by our society in our naturally weird ways.
Sid, it sounds like you're sympathetic for the aliens, and well, I am too, man, but what does that have to do with the telepathy you mentioned?
Telepathy is actually how they communicate. They don't even need to use words. Humans communicate by unspoken actions. Sometimes I've even heard that in a couple thousand years, we won't even need to use our mouths to communicate either. We'll use our minds with computers.
The internet could be like a cosmic light highway of unspoken communication through fluttering circuitry paths. These paths are like the branches of the brain stems, and light fluctuations that are like the electrical impulses in our brains that fire our neurotransmitters, man.
Yeah, and I have this theory that the unseen universe we are connected with through other dimensions is for telepathic energy vibes. We send signals across the trans-dimensional airwaves, twice the speed of sound at the speed of thought. The universe among us may also lie in this table in the form of subatomic particles. Who knows how atoms or other microscopic things know how to exchange electrons? Microscopic organisms such as infinitesimal paisley amoebas. Maybe they're talking to each other using a form of energy such as these energy vibes that we haven't identified yet, because they defy the natural laws of physics.
These are some revolutionary theories. These are some revolutionary theories, Sid, but I understand them. Sid, what do you say we go back to our neighborhood, since these people are obviously indifferent to our theories and probably can't understand them? We really expect them to understand us.
It must be our fate to be alienated by society, just like the extraterrestrials.
Barrett and mushroom land. Sid Barrett and toadstool land.
Aliens communicate with you, Sid?
Yes, and I can show you the window of reality by which to tune in, but even when they do use words, I have trouble understanding them.
Why's that?
Because the words are in a completely different alien language like Astroprolithicus.
Is it nonsense?
No, it's different from nonsense in that I can actually feel the meaning of the words on my skin, as opposed to just logically disregarding the words when it's nonsense. In a way, like a musician understands a score.
So you can, like, understand their language, man?
In a way, like a musician understands a score. Others can tune into the alien language by the art of our culture or movies. Imagination is actually the extreme memory of alien activity in the universe. But they communicate directly to me with vibes that are an invisible airwave, through people like islets of telepathic conscience in a group, where waves burst through like a thrilling roller coaster when another unexpected visitor shows up. And you can sense the thrill on your friend's face because his thrill is yours.
Man, so you feel the alien's words and then you can decipher the meaning?
Yeah, it's almost like you hear your actual thoughts through rhythmic phrases your brain creates to orchestrate actions. And your thoughts make music, beautiful, peaceful music.
Orientation.
Cosmic slave.
Strange vibration. Exclamations.
But who had the first thought? And what started it all? God? And what organism conceived of the first thought? It had to be an alien, since the human race is noticeably much younger than most anything else in the universe. Sounds are heightened, like little bleeps, squeaks, and creeps from car doors, wind, and trees, bouncing through infinity. A zenomite is an increment of measurement. The aliens measure time and space through zenometers. Rhythmic mind phrases are sheer poetry, playing with words for their rhythmic, rhyming, musical quality. Yeah.
Got my cognition colored cosmic cone. Colored cosmic cones tells me with canalicus. Ruby canalysis. Canon Tarkus, Canon Tarsus?
Dexterous radius.
Dexterous radius. I said in language, man. I was said in my cosmic cruiser. Xenomite centimeters and xenomite. Orientation. Strange vibration. Exclamation. That is excrement I sent. The strange excrement that comes from your organic shant. Factoid ubiquitous. I have learned the speeches.
Signal. Notification from space control. Come on.
Time. There's a time element again. Man, time is like repeating and like following me in my head. Like a transparent telepathy layer, like knowing it's there but not quite distinguishing itself yet. Until it makes itself known because it knows that I know that it knows that it's there.
Aliens,
and it's in my subconscious.
Traveling the galaxy.
And well, am I ruled by my environment, or does my environment rule me? All these mass
Things
media
cannot face
gaps of
various colored changes.
in my house.
Only aliens are equipped. Explore non-conformists, as well as
what
from the Earth.
dictates to like
Navigating.
for
Gnome King
thought-provoking
and
patterns of like video killed the radio star and like things
Annie.
I see on TV, but then it's like I have to choose my own medium. Never like quite satisfied though, because of that ongoing rocket ticket routine of the mind's circling agendas. Beauty in my hair. Like a bubble's journey through a canvas. I'm wearing the eagle-winged alien vest. I've just managed to set the thermonuclear temporary window to the other dimension. It's reaching out in purple and blue. Where are those levels of sounds coming from? Wind whistling. Giant, small, no. Myriads of grasshopper families chanting. The sound of a dying room. As if being sucked through a tube into frizzles. Frizzles of crying munchkins. Listening to themselves sing echoes back and forth to themselves in the dungeons of the multi-tubular tunnels of the fifth dimension. Eagle-wing string palace chords play at the minds of my ear. The chords the elves live in the strings of the chords of my ears. And they're singing to the Crystal Canyon's psychedelic celestial soda pop on the 17th floor. My ears, backdrop, smears, static fuzz and tingly strawberries. Of a landscape behind me. Defining the space of water canyon sound that lay in the fuzzy feedback frizzles of the frontward valley. Back and forth the echoes bounce and echo. Voices of the singing symphonies back and forth. Of these two the back little valley behind me, the one in front of me. At the little nose of the canyons, like singing to the Feather Lily Palace meadow springs of water strings in my canyon chord eardrums. They sing the elves in their tunnels underground.
Like
The backdrop sunsets, forward crystal canyons.
Guys, my
sun, cats, fluorescent, electric, orange, blue, abstract, white, corn, and cats that fly across bubbly, psychedelic, creamy skies. Bright blue and yellow red, black, camouflage eyes, hills of green, or streaming Oregon stream. Gum gum, a little bag is over down in the sun. The toothless rooster man is on the run. Over land and ground of freedom.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
What we do here is we make a free-form movie with random images and thoughts all thrown together, and then the viewer would create a plot.
I've done things like that. Some of those other I made like
Yeah.
it was like a free one. The thing about it was though, it was so artistic.
Yeah. But that's the thing, you sort of need a plot, though, and just like different people just hanging out, like rapping about things, you know?
Yeah, well, intellectual is good.
You know, that is a good point. When you get interesting people together, interesting things. That's like one of
You gotta see the end of the video.
that's like one of my like profound goals, man. Getting interesting people together and fucking staying there, you know, living that.
But man, you think that Indiana is overpopulated?
No, but I think everywhere is overpopulated.
Well, it has the potential. That's like there's this like natural process though that like does away with it.
Yeah. Howdy.
There's a natural process that does away with overpopulation, man. It's disease.
Yeah, but look at like
AIDS and
the thing
cancer,
is, man.
That equalizes overpopulation.
That's how it should.
Remember walking to school? We used to do this
Remember when we rode our bikes on that lake?
Yeah, we used to walk to school along this
But
path.
the thing is, man, the birth rate is outnumbering the death rate. That's how overpopulation happens.
So that's like a factual statistic?
Yeah.
So, you know what the other problem though is with me though? When it comes to like intellectualizing and like formulating concepts, what is the issue? For like accomplishment to occur, there has to be
universal truth, a universal
issue. What is the issue that has to be focused on?
Right.
There, for something to be accomplished, there has to be like masses to agree on a certain issue and concentrate on it. And there are so many different.
It has to be something that's all universal.
But to be like masses to agree on a certain issue and concentrate on it. And there are so many different.
It has to be something that's important. Always, it's universal.
But when you think about it, everything is universally important, man. What is more important than something else?
As the most universally hard to focus on, as universally relevant for people's thought, you know.
That's another reason why the whole movement in the 60s happened. There was the Vietnam War to unify people's consciousness.
But it's like what
that was the one focus.
What can we find that people will enjoy letting their brains feast on, you know?
Well, but that's like for our personal mobilization, but not just that.
Oh,
I'm talking about.
But for their own enjoyment.
Well, not that, but like the improvement.
It's like we need to give it to them.
Society.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but that's a given, man. That's like my purpose.
I mean, it's like AIDS is an issue, but like, is that like of foremost importance? There's like people concentrate just as hard on AIDS as they do on the Grateful Dead.
You wanna walk this way?
No, I want to walk that way. Eagle Creek. So, what do what is the most important issue that, like, our time needs to focus on? You know, what's the social movement of our times? It's everything, man.
Frustrating.
Nothing is unifying. There are so many different, like, diverse issues.
Exactly.
That's what's frustrating.
I was walking around disillusioned for like weeks because of that concept.
Because of the issue? I've thought about that. I don't know if I ever really wrote about that. Did you read aloud my philosophical theories? It'd be funny if your mom drove down here. Hey, how you doing? We're just...
Munchkin Pictures versus Ofa Beasts.
Alpha beasts.
Those were the low pitched people squishing the high pitched people. Now the high pitched people win, and if they don't get to be squished, and everyone is like an alien.
Yeah, man.
You think everyone's an
I don't
alien?
know.
In this
think
spaced
this-
out, tripped out voyage, I've had the journeyman